Man, y'all, the playoffs been crazy so far, you know what I'm saying? 76ers laid the smackdown on the Nets, you know what I'm saying? They swept them boys. Now, don't get it twisted. I like Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, and Spencer Dinwiddie. But let's be clear, Joel Embiid is the MVP. We already know what time it is. They say between Joel and Jokic and Giannis, but I'll get to that in a minute. They couldn't stop the onslaught of Philly, you know what I'm saying, with Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, and yes, even Tobias Harris. And they ended up giving them a whipping. Joel Embiid didn't even play game 4, so obviously he's giving his knee well-deserved rest. The Suns end up taking out the Clippers in a 4-1 game series. Trust me, you're about to hear a lot of 4-1. Devin Booker was going stupid out there in the streets. KD was doing his thing too. Now, you know, coming into the series, Paul George ended himself 2 weeks before the playoffs. And we always knew Kawhi Leonard was on load management. But guess what? He didn't play in the last 2 or 3 games of the series either. So the soul of the Clippers relied solely on Russell Westbrook. And he was getting it popping for a couple of games. The last game, he kind of slid back into his old habits. But bottom line is, like, what was he supposed to do? I think the Clippers are going to end up still keeping him. You know what I'm saying? Consider whatever time they get Paul George back. And Kawhi Leonard's always on load management. I mean, he has that legit injury, and he is the best he is when he gets on the court. But bottom line is he ain't been there. Anthony Davis been more reliable, and that's a freaking hilarious statement for me to even make right now. Now let's get to another 4-1 series, which I really thought was going to go to 7 games, but it didn't happen. The New York Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 4-1 series. My man Spidey, you already know Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, you know what I'm saying? They had a little bit of help, but bottom line is the Knicks was too much for them apparently. With Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett and then Julius Randle coming back. Now, he did injure himself in the last game, whatever like that, but they still finished them niggas off. I really thought that was going to be a 7-game series. Oh, well. And then we got the Denver Nuggets taking out the Minnesota Timberwolves in another 4-1 series. All these gentlemen sweeps. The team of Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Josh Hart cooking. Michael Porter Jr., I'm geeking. On the other side, Ant-Man was doing everything he could. And in the last game, within the last minute, Rudy Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns foul out. Ant-Man almost had the shot, but it wasn't meant to be. It was a 3-point game, and bottom line is, that's what happened. Denver will be playing the Suns. And then we go back over to the East, where the Miami Heat, coming from the play-in tournament, knocked off the #1 Bucks in a 4-1 series. Well, the last game went into overtime. That shit was nuts. Jimmy Butler, you already know what time it is. Jimmy fucking buckets, giving buckets. That game consisted of Bam fouling out, Kyle Lowry fouling out, no Tyler Hero the entire series, except the first game. And Jimmy was cooking back-to-back buckets, 56-point game the game before, 2 12-point leads in the 4 quarters by the Bucks, and then they gave it up to man Jimmy Buckets. And then I thought the Bucks once again in the last 5 years. Can't remember which year, but you get the point. I think they take care of all the 4-1s in one sweep, which is ironic that Brooklyn got swept back-to-back years, but whatever. This Brooklyn team we felt bad for. Last Brooklyn team we laughed at. Let's talk about the Warriors and the Kings, because the Warriors and the Kings have been cooking all year. The Warriors have been trash on the road. But right now, the Warriors are up on the Kings 3-2 in the series. You know the Warriors got Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins just came back after a couple months. On the other side, you got Malik Monk, Harrison Barnes. But you know who really leads that team? De'Aaron Fox. Got some bonus over there. Now, Fox messed up his finger in Game 4. He was still able to play Game 5 because, you know, this is pressure cook again. They were tied at 2-2 apiece. The Warriors ended up taking it by 7. Then we got the Boston Celtics. They were up on Atlanta 3-1 in this series. Guess what? Atlanta takes the Game 5, so it's 3-2 now. Now, do I believe Boston will close them out? They could. The problem was Boston in the fourth quarter had 6 turnovers, and you can't give over 6 turnovers to a guy like Trae Young. He gonna come out there and punish you and give you the whipping for it. Game 6 gonna be wild. They go back to Atlanta. I'm like, and that basically covers the series so far as of today. But the first round has been freaking insane, yo. Like, for real. The beef is real, and everybody cooking.